This is a great honor for every fan of the Dallas Cowboys. I'm honored to be in the NFL.
What can I say? Mamba out.
All right. Well, what's happening, everybody? Welcome to the afternoon show presented by ESEN. I'm Chris Gonzalez, joined by Tony Gonzalez and Jay McLevin. How's it going, guys?
Going good. Nice and pretty warm here, about 55 degrees.
Yeah, it's a beautiful 78 degrees almost here. Or that's what it feels like. With the humidity, it feels like 78. It's actually supposedly in the low 70s, but who cares, really? When you're in the 70s, it doesn't matter.
It's in the 50s here, but it feels like 70 because it's been so cold.
Yeah, I feel like, hey, it's weird when you start thinking of 50 as a new 70, right? I mean, that's like you got to mess with your mind a little bit.
I think last Tuesday it was 5 degrees or something like that, and today it's 50 something.
It's 55 right now.
Yeah, did y'all even have you guys got a pretty good wind up there, or is it pretty dead outside?
The wind's not bad. Yesterday it was real bad. It was about 50 yesterday, but it still felt about like 25 because the wind was blowing about 30 miles an hour.
I'll tell you this much, guys. There is no damn way I could live in that cold weather. Ain't no way. I got to have some sunshine, man.
It's nice out today. I was actually driving around with my windows rolled down a little bit. Didn't have to be all cooped up.
Yeah. Okay. I got you. Hey, like I said, we're getting around that springtime, so I'm all for it.
But the problem is today it was 55. It could be 20 tomorrow. You never know here in Indiana.
And there's no wonder why you're always sick, Chris.
Saturday.
There's no wonder why you always got a sniffly nose.
Now I know why he's angry all the time. He's like an angry little.
I know, yeah.
Chris angry? Come on.
I'd be pissed off at that too, man. Damn.
Listen, I don't want to say nothing the other day, but I was like, Chris just looked like an angry little elf. And then I had this thought process of Chris coming through the screen saying, "Say elf one more time."
Scared poor Glenn to death.
Well, guys,
folks, lots going on.
What do you want to start with, Jay?
Man, I don't even know where to start. Should we just start with some Travis Kelce? Just because.
Might as well. We'll get out the way.
We're fresh off the Super Bowl. I know we were wondering whether or not Kelce was going to come back. Was he going to retire? What's he doing? Well, Logan, the Chiefs general manager, has come and said that Travis Kelce is fired up for 2025.
Well, I'm glad he's fired up for coming back next year. I wish he was fired up for the Super Bowl, but you can't win them all. If anyone saw the game, you saw he just was a non-factor. He didn't seem like he had much of a competitive spirit. I don't know if the Eagles just broke him that early on or what, but he did not look good in the Super Bowl. He didn't look great this year in general, in terms of stats-wise, in terms of everything else. You heard a lot about him off the field than on the field. But I would hope he comes back with a determination for 25. I mean, look, there's no doubt he's going to be a Hall of Famer. There's no question with that. But you just don't want to see his play decline. You want him to play at a high ceiling because we know how good of a player he has been and how good he can continue to be. So hopefully he comes back, maybe a little bit better shape than he was this year, and he can really rock it in 25.
Yeah, I think he'll have a good year. The whole team looked terrible. You just can't say him. The whole team looked terrible in that Super Bowl.
No, yeah, but yeah. I'm just saying him specifically, just because we are talking about him. But, I mean, you guys saw the plays where he just wasn't blocking, didn't run a great route. I mean, he didn't do great on a personal level in Super Bowl.
Yeah, they pretty much got manhandled.
Yeah.
I mean, let's be honest. I told you guys, I said, when you watch that team throughout that game, they look like they did not have the eye of the tiger. When you watch Travis Kelce in his John Travolta 1970 Saturday Night Fever special suit coming up the walkway, I knew damn good well he didn't have it.
Hey, Jay, who sings the Eye of the Tiger?
Don't care. Maybe kid. No.
I just wondered if you knew.
You know what? It's in my damn phone too, man. Hold on, watch this. Hey, Siri, play Eye of the Tiger. Watch.
Hey, we better be talking over that, Jay, unless you want to get this video taken down.
Oh yeah, we better not. Siri,
Yeah.
don't play it. I'm gonna get in trouble. But I don't know. I have to look at my actual thing. I better not play it. I
Yeah, you
really
can't
want to
play
play
it.
Eye of the Tiger now. I really. Anyway, long story short,
Well, it's a
it's
great
in my
song.
Rolodex. But look, guys, look. You know they didn't have the eye. Look, they look like a bunch of celebrities going out there to strut their stuff, overconfident, had no cares in the world, just like when Rocky was boxing at the gym, and he had a little, right there in the back of his ear, come on, let's get serious. And he's taking pictures and he's taking autographs. Yeah, you weren't ready for that fight. You weren't ready for Clubber Lang. No more than the Kansas City Chiefs were ready for what the Eagles were about to drop on them, and that team was ready.
No, it's they looked awful. But I mean, the real question, I guess, now that he is confirmed to be coming back, do the Chiefs go with a tight end in the draft at some point for maybe the next man up?
Survivor sings "I Have the Tiger." Just a
Thank you for that.
I'm going to keep it correct. In case anybody was actually looking for that song, it's there. I'd play it for you, but
I could have told you. I could have told you who sang it. I just was wondering if you knew.
I got a trivia question.
Look at
Well, it's not really. It
Look
could
at
be a
this.
trivia
I
question.
want you to know. I might not have known the band.
It's right
but
there.
It really is in my. It's in there. It's in there, Gonzo. I listen to it every morning.
The song that was in Karate Kid, the very first movie that
Yeah.
they played there at the karate tournament. I can't think of the name of that song.
Best around.
Best Around. That
Yeah, I
originally
see that song
that
every
was
day.
originally going to be that was Sylvester Stallone's and was going to be used for that movie. But Sylvester
really?
Stallone turned it down and used Eye of the Tiger. I just seen that yesterday or a couple
I
of days ago.
got to tell you, I really am glad he did turn it down because Eye of the Tiger was really on point for that movie. It was on point, right?
Yeah, no, it worked out perfectly.
And Best Around, it was great for Karate Kid. It served.
Yeah.
They both served their purposes. Honestly,
Yeah.
They really did. They really did. I could never watch Sylvester Stallone with Best Around playing. I could never do that. I wouldn't have the same feeling. I would have the same emotion. It'd be like Gonzo looking at Pablo and seeing a Yorkshire Terrier. It just doesn't work.
No, when I wrestled, we used to listen to Eye of the Tiger. Actually, the Rocky soundtrack basically almost every day.
Hell yeah. Look around, Gonzo. Do you have the Eye of the Tiger? Everybody else does.
Gonzo's obviously still into wrestling, just a different kind now. Now instead of takedowns, he's putting good with chairs.
I mean, I gotta imagine Travis Kelce after that crushing defeat, because we all watched Travis Kelce walk off the field. He looked like a little kid that just got grounded, and now he's gonna look in his bedroom for the next 3 months. He looked horrible. You know that wasn't sitting well with him. I know it ain't sitting well with Patrick Mahomes.
You know how I'm gonna tell if he's locked in, Jay, for this year? It's how he reports to training camp.
Oh yeah.
If he reports in shape, if he's looking good, I have some optimism. But if he shows up, out of shape or doesn't look crisp, I'll be a little bit worried.
Yeah, I need to see him with that flat top looking haircut that he had. Not this.
Yeah, the long hair don't suit him well. That's not a good look for him. Give him the flat top with the fade and the earrings. That's his look.
Has Kelsey came out and said he's coming back? I know the GM said that they expect him to come back and he's fired up for his last season. But has Kelsey came out and actually said he's coming back yet?
I'm not sure, but I would hope to God if the GM says he's coming back that he would be coming back. But
yeah, I would too. I was just wondering because when I was looking, I couldn't find anything like where he'd actually said it yet.
Right.
So according to the general manager, Brett Veach, said Tuesday the Kansas City Chiefs are planning for Travis Kelce to play in 2021. Now, I get the word key there is planning. Adding the veteran tight end has that fire and desire to play. And he goes on to say, how we left at the end of the season is that he was fired up. Veach said at the scouting combine in Indianapolis, I think we left it as he'd be back, and we're excited to get him back and get him going. So I don't know if there's 100% like official, but it certainly seems like all indications are lining up.
Yeah, it seems like we're leaning that way. Also, what's up, Joe? Appreciate Italy. Guys, we're nationwide. Worldwide now.
Yeah, me and Joe go back. Hey, Joe. What's up,
Hey,
my fellow
appreciate it, Joe.
Cowboys fan?
Appreciate you.
Yeah, Joe was actually watching our Joe was actually watching some of our wrestling show last night as well.
He said the Chiefs lost because the refs didn't hold them out like they did all year long.
Man, I'm telling you. Well,
hey,
not only did the Chiefs not help them out, but that offensive line for
that team
didn't help them either.
Nah, the offensive line, I think, was one of the biggest factors. Obviously, the defense wasn't even there, but I mean, hell, it's just an awful concoction, right? I mean, the offensive line wasn't blocking a damn thing. The defense couldn't stop anything. But I mean, it's like I said going into the game. I mean, if you want to take the refs out of it, Joe, you just beat the hell out of them. That's what Philly did. Also, yeah, we are telling you it is another year with Taylor Swift. So you're going to have to plug your ears or flip the channel about 10 times a game. So it seems like that is going to be coming back, unless they break up this offseason, which we don't know.
Now, it is important to know that Kelsey did say in multiple interviews prior to the Super Bowl even being played that he fully intended to play again in 2025. Now, obviously, after the game, they asked him the same thing again, and he was a little bit less definitive. But I got to tell you, folks, if you're planning to play in 2025 and they asked you after you just got your ass whooped if you're going to play again, you're probably not feeling too great. So you're going to give that kind of response.
Yeah, you're going to want to give it
after that. You can't tell me Travis Kelce don't have a fire in him somewhere. Now, I don't know. Maybe Taylor Swift, dubbed in and got her Talisha Shire and Adrian and brought that out and said, you can't just walk away. Face your demons. And maybe on the beach, he said, what do you want from me? What do you want? Be the man that you are, Travis. Get rid of the foo-foo haircut. Go back to Dr. Bolton clothes. Get the flat top. Get the tank top. Grab your inner Rick Vaughn and let's freaking go.
So here's your balls back.
Hello. Would you like them? Right now they have very little value in that shitty performance.
Jay, I don't know if it's just because you resemble him, but you're sounding a lot like Jason Kelsey right now by that motivational speech. Yeah. That sounds exactly like something Jason would say to him.
I mean, it's just, come on, man. Travis is coming back. He's not going to leave it like that. He's just not. I wouldn't want to go out like that. Hell.
Yeah.
Neither him. And you can't tell me that Patrick Mahomes wants to go out doing that kind of a performance. Come on.
And I think Travis is one of the few guys you see in the league who can choose how he wants to end his career, right? A lot of guys' careers get ended for them. But Travis has shown since he's been in KC, since he's been so dominant, since he's helped them win some rings, that he's going to be able to choose how long he wants to stay there, I think, and when he wants to ultimately retire.
Yeah, you're not going out on 4 catches on 39 yards in the Super Bowl. That's not how he's going to end that legacy. Yeah. I can't imagine. I think what happens to that team happens to a lot of teams, they just go through that Super Bowl fatigue where you've been there so much and you haven't had enough time off to really. I think he just needs to have that humbling experience, come off that cloud that they were on for back-to-backs, and then get life back in perspective.
I think you had a good point there, Jay. The Super Bowl fatigue. I mean, this would have been the first time that a team would have won 3 in a row. It hasn't been done because, like you said, they have that fatigue. They don't get that extra amount of time to rest. They're always constantly planning. And now that he gets to do that for the first time in a couple of years, we'll see how him as well as the rest of the staff do.
Right. And then, too, I mean, think about it. When you're winning that much and you're always winning, doesn't that kind of put you in the less than fightive mode? Like it takes that edge off of you. It kind of dulls you down a little bit, right? I mean, when you're not winning or you're trying to win or you're trying to climb up that mountain, everything is sparked in you. That dog mentality, it's all out there. It's all putting everything on the line. When you've been winning for so long, you can't tell me that they don't get lackadaisical. Like they lose that edge.
Sometimes it's good to lose.
Yeah, losing sometimes a good thing. And hell, for KC, it might be a great thing because we know, look, this team is still very good. There's no question about that. This is a team that was built on defense as opposed to offense. And if their offense gets better this offseason, which I believe it will, then this is still going to be a great team. This is still going to be a team who could easily be in the Super Bowl once again next year.
Yeah, sometimes it's good to lose. It can recharge your battery per se, or get you more focused, refocused on the little things that maybe you were skipping over because you were having all that success.
Yeah, I mean, look at the Patriots and their run they had. I mean, they didn't win all of them. They lost a couple, and they came back and they looked even better.
Actually, didn't they have like a 10 or 11-year drought where they didn't win?
That sounds right. Yeah. I don't know. Yeah, I think that sounds right. Because
I don't know if the Chiefs will go that long, but I mean,
I don't think so. But I know one thing: it's not going to be an easy task for KC this year because the AFC West got a whole lot better this year. I didn't expect the Broncos to be as good as they were. That defense in Denver is insane. The Chargers have a really good team, and then there's the Raiders. It's the Raiders.
Yeah.
Well, I guess we're gonna find out, fellas, as we go along as to how that all plays out. But not to switch gears a little bit, but let me ask you guys a question.
Go ahead.
You know, when Deshaun Watson first got, in trouble with the massage gate stuff, there still are memes floating.
Massage gate?
Hey, when massage gate was going down, I can't tell you how much flooded my Facebook was with memes of Deshaun. Every 5 seconds with Deshaun this or Deshaun this or Deshaun. Is it odd that Justin Tucker has now got 16, I believe it is, 15 or 16 allegations against him? The Ravens have said that it's concerning, this, that, and the other. But I can't find one damn meme on Facebook showing Justin Tucker in massage gate. What's going on with this? Why is Deshaun getting all the hate and Justin Tucker's getting a pass?
I think for there's two reasons. One is with Deshaun Watson, when all that stuff was coming out, there was already the lawsuit had been filed and stuff where hasn't been any kind of lawsuit or nothing. It's just been the allegations. And then on the other thing, I think it is Tucker's a kicker. Deshaun Watson's a quarterback. I mean, in the grand scheme of things, a lot your average football fan probably don't even know who Justin Tucker is. Who Deshaun Watson is because he's a quarterback in the NFL.
And also, too, let's not forget that Deshaun had just signed, I think, I don't know the exact time frame, but he had recently signed that big deal in Cleveland. I mean, Tucker, for the most, and also Deshaun, before all this, he also kind of helped like a clean nose, right? You didn't hear much out of him. Heard he was a great guy, helped out the community.
But Deshaun Watson, though, got the big deal even after all of those allegations came out.
Is that true? Can we do some?
The allegations was out, but he hadn't got suspended or anything by the NFL yet. But the allegations and the lawsuit pending were out.
Yeah.
Okay. I didn't know the timeline.
I'm pretty sure.
I remember when the allegations came out. And then I remember when he got the big contract with Cleveland. I'm like, why is Cleveland giving him all this money? This guy's stuff. I remember that was kind of the big story. Why is he getting this big contract when there's allegations?
And with Watson, he was the first one to get a fully guaranteed contract like that.
That's true.
Well. So that put him out in the spotlight more. Where, like I said, there's a lot of people don't even know who Justin Tucker is. And I'm not trying to be disrespectful because he's one of the best the NFL's ever had. But
and also Chris, you were right, by the way. In 2021, he was sued by more than, and this is Watson, by the way, was sued by more than 24 female massage therapists for sexual harassment and sexual assault being. And then scrolling down a little bit here on the Wikipedia page, it kept him out of the 2021 season, and then it led to the trade in Cleveland when they then signed him to a 5-year contract worth $230 million.
Yeah.
How do you think it's going to be rated as one of the worst moves of all time? You think that's going to be number one?
Oh, it very well could be number one, dude. I don't know a whole lot other worse ones.
I can think of one that I won't say it's worse. The trade that Dallas got with Minnesota, Herschel Walker, that was pretty stupid, but not
but I mean,
worse, but
at least he played. At least he played.
Minnesota?
Yeah, for Minnesota, it was pretty bad.
Yeah,
that was a bad one, but I feel like
when only one I can really think of off the top of my head is I think it was the Raiders drafted Jamarcus Russell.
Well, I mean, yeah, but that's different though. We're talking about trades.
Yeah.
Drafting, I fully agree.
Yeah,
Drafting,
that's true.
You know what? The reason why I think it makes it the worst is not because of what happened. Obviously, it's what happened, but it's mainly because of the fact that it was a fully guaranteed contract, which hadn't happened, and it was done after the knowing of the fact that this guy's got all these allegations, and you went and did it anyway. And gave him that type of contract. I think it's the circumstances of the contract with the allegations, before the contract was made, is what makes it so bad.
And I mean, since
like you said, Logan, it's not like you made this trade for Deshaun Watson and then all this stuff comes out, and now you look like
you knew about this.
That whatever. We have compassion at that point. We'd have compassion for the Cleveland Browns and stuff. But when you knowingly know that this man has all these legal battles ahead of him, and you give him a fully guaranteed contract like that anyway, that just makes you look like a dumbass.
You know how I feel bad for, and we're just gonna kind of talk about Cleveland right now, and we'll segue to this. But you know how I feel bad for on that roster? Nick Chubb.
Yeah,
a guy who's broken every bone in his leg, it feels like, and multiple times, and now he's just, man, what a rough situation.
Well, speaking of Nick Chubb, though, how much longer do you think he's going to be on the Browns? I was kind of thinking they might.
He's a free agent.
Is he?
I'm pretty sure.
Let me look.
Yeah,
I don't know if he's unrestricted or not, but I think he's a free agent.
Yeah, because he was on the list. He's top 10 available running backs on free agency. And Chubb
yes, you are right, Tony. On March 12th, he'll officially become a unrestricted free agent.
So where do we think Chubb lands?
I mean, don't get me wrong, Chubb's a good running back. He's a good running back. But the question, of course, like we saw with a lot of these guys, can he stay healthy?
Yeah,
I think if he can stay healthy, I think he'd be a good fit for Dallas.
It'll be a very friendly contract.
Do you think he gets signed as a starter or as a backup?
That's a good point. I think
I think just because he's
camp and see what happens in training camp, and then make your decision.
It might be like a 1-year deal, like a prove it deal. Prove you can stay healthy, and then we can sign you for long.
Yeah, something that would be friendly. Like I said, it's going to be a friendly deal for the team, and then Chubb is going to have to earn his way back in the league, not because he's bad, but because of the injuries.
No, but it also kind of helps him too in a way because the running back market is red hot right now in terms of just the value for them. We saw what Saquon Barkley did. We've seen what Derrick Henry did. We've seen what Bijan Robinson. We've seen what so many other guys did this year. So it's helping Chubb right now, I think.
I think, in all honesty, this is going to sound crazy, but I think if I was the Cowboys, and I'm just using them right now because right now Dowdle is also a free agent. So we got it. We have a position opening right in Dallas. And I'm thinking this. There are mock drafts that have Denty going in the first 7 picks. And then there's also a couple of mock drafts where I've seen the Cowboys landing Genty. I think if you land Genty, then you just keep on with Michigan as it is. If you don't get Genty, then I think you re-sign Dowdle, and then I also think you take a flyer and then take a prove-it deal on Nick Chubb and see what happens. I think you give them both a 1-year deal and see what happens. I
think that's a good move. For my team in Vegas, we damn sure need a running back. I'll take Nick Chubb in a heartbeat.
Yeah. Yeah. And if you have a halfway decent O-line, he could very well bounce back to at least a decent, serviceable level.
Tony, Chris, I know you guys have Jonathan Taylor. Who's your backup running back? I don't know off the top of my head.
I can't remember right now. I had a pretty decent one. I had a couple.
Oh yeah, we had Goodson and
I can't remember that. Both the guys did pretty well when Taylor was out. I mean, we're not too bad there.
It wasn't like it was bad.
No.
I mean, a lot of teams need a good running back, and Chubb is a good running back when he's on the field. It's just he's been hurt, unfortunately, the last couple of seasons with some, freak injuries. But I mean, he's an ox, dude. His legs are like just tree trunks. If you see them, like that dude stays in the gym. It's just he just for whatever reason he can't stay healthy. He does everything right. He works out, he stays in shape, he eats right, but it's just sometimes that injury bug gets you.
Yeah, and Joe, I know you'd rather re-sign Dowdle for the Cowboys, but here's the thing. Right now our cap situation is horrendous. Like, we have very little cap. So my thing is, could Dowdle, who had a pretty good season, want a raise? And if so, then we probably would be struggling to afford him. But if you get Genty, if we're lucky enough to get Genty in the draft, then you got a rookie cap friendly deal, and that looks much better, making Rico expendable. And if you don't get Genty, then I still think you maybe take Rico back on as he is a proven bell cow, and then try to work a cap friendly deal with Chubb. That way, it gives you some flexibility in there, and maybe a 1-2 punch. Because you can't. I don't think you can play Chubb every down. I don't think he's an every down back.
No. Well, here's the question for you, Jay, being a resident Cowboys fan. Do you think if they get Genty, that it would obviously we know it's going to help the team, but I think it helps out Prescott because
Absolutely
he doesn't have because do you think he's a guy who can do it all by himself? I don't think he can. We've seen it in the last couple of years. It's been a couple of seasons since they've had a really good year, and I think if you got like an A or a B running back, then that would really help out Dallas in their offense.
I can't tell you how many times I have read in articles where they are comparing Genty to Barry Sanders. I've heard this in numerous articles where he's being compared. Now, I don't know if you can compare him this early to Barry Sanders. The guy hasn't even played one down in NFL yet. I think right now they're looking at his college career. Yeah. But if that is the case, if this guy does have that special magic that Barry had, that could be really interesting in Dallas.
I would feel
like what Saquon Barkley was doing with Philadelphia. If he comes out and plays like a Barry Sanders type of guy, yeah, that could be dangerous for
if whoever the hell I am, I feel 100% confident in drafting this dude. He seems like he's a perfect fit for whatever team it feels like.
And I just seen Kuiper, that draft you was talking about. Kuiper, he had Genty going to the Raiders.
Yeah,
I'll take it. I think we need to check. I'll take him. So also Joe says, talking about the Cowboys, with our bad O-line, it won't matter who's running the ball. That's the thing too. Is Jay, you just lost Zach Martin last week.
Yeah,
you might forget O-line.
Me and Gonzo were talking about that, and Tony was
I say the Raiders ain't got a great O-line either.
Yeah. Yeah, we're gonna struggle. I don't know what to expect out of the O-line. I don't think I'll know what to expect out of the O-line until we get into the regular season. But yeah,
I was looking at Daniel Jeremiah's mock draft, and he usually the last couple of years he's been one of the ones closest to being right. He has Genty going 21 to Pittsburgh.
Wow, I can't imagine him dropping that far.
Also,
down.
Hold on. Before
that would be
Pittsburgh drafts a running back, they need a damn quarterback. They need to figure out who's going to be their quarterback before they worry about running back.
He has the Colts taking an offensive tackle from Missouri at 14.
Yeah, because he had one.
He has the Cowboys taking Walter Nolan, the defensive tackle from Mississippi, at 12.
Good player.
Yeah. And we do need help on our front seven.
He has the Raiders. He has the Raiders taking Shadur Sanders at 6. At number 1, he has Carter.
Yeah,
Abdul Carter.
Yep, 2.
Number 1.
He has Abdul Carter at 1. Cam Ward going to Cleveland at number 2.
Yeah.
Travis Hunter going to the Giants at number 3. Will Campbell going to New England Patriots at 4. And Mason Graham from Michigan going to Jacksonville at 5. And then Sanders to the Raiders.
Don't get me wrong. I think Abdul Carter's a hell of a player out of Penn State.
Yeah.
But I just don't see how he goes number 1 though. That's what I'm kind of scratching my head out.
Well, I'm curious.
He's going to be a top 10 pick, but I just don't see him going number 1.
But a lot of those drafts that had Travis Hunter at 1, I wonder if that was them thinking if he went the wide receiver route, and then when he chose defensive back, did that make him drop out of that? And I'm not talking about their draft. I'm talking about the Mel Kiper draft. I wonder if that's what Mel Kiper was thinking.
Well, this is Daniel Jeremiah's here.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. So Jeremiah had Abdul Carter as well going at number 1?
Yes.
Because Kiper has him going at number 1 as well. So that's a lot of similarities between those two drafts.
Yeah.
Drafts.
Hey, Jay, we got a question from Joe. He said, would you trade the 12th overall pick for Myles Garrett?
Damn. That's
a good question.
Myles Garrett again. He's in his
I think
30s.
he's like, no, I don't even know. No, hold on. Myles Garrett.
Got a couple
He is.
years left on his deal, I think.
Yeah, he's right now, Jay. He's 29. He's going to be 30 in December, so he's still
30-year-old.
He's
You
not
might
even
get
30.
5 years out of him. You know, I might. Oh, God, that's a hard one though. I don't know if
I
I can
trade-
I did in a heartbeat.
I trade the Colts 14th pick for Myles Garrett.
Yep.
No, it's not that. I'm not saying that he's not worth the 12th pick at all. I'm saying I don't know if they're going to have the cap room to bring him on.
That's a good point too. You got to be able to pay unless you told Cleveland, hey, you got to eat most of this contract, man.
Yeah. Now, if he comes in and he's cap friendly for us, and we can put him under our cap, then of course I would trade it. But I don't know.
Just defer it. Just defer it down the road.
This ain't baseball.
Logan, would you make that deal? Would you trade your pick for Myles Garrett?
That would make me nervous to make that deal was I think that they really could use if Genty was to be there at 12 and we trade that pick away, I would be pissed. Because now you're talking about he could be what they're speculating as a generational type of guy. And if you lose out on that, I don't know. That hurts. That's a hard on a guy who's got maybe 5 or 6 years left in the league. I don't know. I don't know because we really do need a running back and we need a cap friendly number. That's the only thing that would give me pause. Is what if we had the opportunity to get Genty at 12?
I don't know if this is true, but I read that they said this is one of the strongest running back drafts there's been in a while.
I believe it.
It's a pretty good class.
Yeah, because you have Trayvon Henderson from Ohio State who's real good.
I mean,
Yeah,
could you get a? I mean, you might.
Excuse me.
Depends what picks you would have. I mean, could you get a good running back in the second round?
And that's the thing, right? That's what you hope for at that point, right? Is that okay? What if we do trade for Myles Garrett? I don't know where the draft. I don't know. I know we got a second round pick. I just don't know where it's at. And then you're right. Could we then pick up a running back in the draft if it's available? That might. I mean, I would probably go that route. I just don't know what our pick is.
You know, Jeremiah right now he only has 2 running backs going in the first round according to his mock draft. He has, and that's Genty and Henderson.
Okay.
You have Henderson going after Jenny. Logan, would you make that deal? Would you take Myles Garrett for your draft pick, first round draft pick?
Oh, see, that's a tough one, only because the Raiders are in the top 10 in terms of draft picks, and I say no, and here's my reasoning: because they already have Max Crosby, and let's not forget last season they picked up what's his name from Miami? I forget his not Rankins. But they signed, I forget his name, but they signed him from Miami last year to a big deal. So, I mean, he was hurt this past year for the most part. So, I think your defensive front, you already got two big guys there, hopefully production-wise. But, I mean, if you get a third one, that's fine. But, I mean, it's really just your defensive line and a bunch of crap around you.
And the thing, and I guess another thing to consider is how many picks are they going to want from Myles Garrett? Is it just a first?
Oh, dude,
is it a first, a second, or a second, or third? I mean,
I'm wanting a haul.
And there was and my bad, it was actually there's 3 running backs. Omari and Hampton as well. He has him going right after Genty.
And he in where's he at? North Carolina, I think.
Yeah, he was from North Carolina.
So
he has him going to the Chargers.
Ooh, I like that move. I think that would look good for Kate for LA. Okay, so Joe says Parsons said on his podcast that he would take less money if we got Myles Garrett. I mean, hell, I would hope so.
Yeah, no doubt. I mean, and certainly that would be the right direct, or that would be a step in the right direction to actually creating room for Myles Garrett.
No, I mean, yeah, for sure.
You know what I'm saying? Because the Cowboys got the number 44 pick in the second round, but I got to think that maybe that pick would get packaged with the first round pick for Myles Garrett because they're not going to want a single first.
Yeah,
I heard rumors that Washington was the favorite to get Garrett. Now,
well, Washington, they are allowing their defensive tackle Allen to seek a trade. So I mean, that opens up a spot. Yeah. If you get rid of Jonathan Allen, then you can bring in Myles Garrett.
Wow, that's a hard one. I gotta imagine if I'm Miles Garrett and I had my opinion or option of where to go, I would probably go to the Commanders before I went to the Cowboys, just because I feel like the Commanders are just right there at the cusp of a Super Bowl run, you know. And I think the Cowboys are still a little ways away, man.
Yeah, I mean, hell, no one thought they'd be where they're at right now.
Huh?
No one thought they'd even get to where they were.
Yeah, I know. And you had a guy like Myles Garrett to that team, and that's, I mean, you're talking about adding key pieces to a team that's already really good to get to that next level. You know, I mean,
Let me ask you this: do you guys think Daniels will hit that sophomore slump though?
We saw it with CJ Stroud. We saw it with CJ Stroud.
We did see it with CJ. You're right, but CJ also has some wide receivers go down. Not that I'm not trying to make excuses for him, but I mean, is there always a potential for the sophomore slump? Sure.
No, it's hard to tell just because, I mean, I didn't think CJ would slump. We saw how good he did his freshman year.
I didn't think he would slump either. I really thought he would come out.
So it's hard to tell, but like you said, also CJ did have some injuries to deal with a bunch of his receivers being out. But I would hope not. I mean, hell, he was a main factor in them getting to where they were.
Yeah, I agree. I like what Dan Quinn is doing over there, and you're right though, because a lot of times, you know, defenses figure you out in year two. Maybe not in year one so much, because there's not enough film on you to really figure you out. But year two, they have more film. They can go back. They can look at things, tweak things, whatever. Defensive coordinators, same way. I mean, so yeah, I mean, he could definitely have a sophomore slump, but I don't think you're going to go into the season thinking that. So you're going to try to do everything you can to add those pieces. And Myles Garrett, if you add that to that Commanders team, I mean, that's a really nice defensive add-on, especially when you got teams like Philadelphia out there. You know, you're going to need a guy like Myles Garrett.
You had Garrett, and you had another receiver to that team.
That's probably where Garrett will end up at.
Yeah. And
so,
they got Super Cup. They can go get Super Cup and Myles Garrett.
He'll probably end up with the Eagles, is who Garrett will end up with. Just that defensive line they have.
Good God, that would be insane if he winds up with the Eagles.
Yeah, him and Jalen Carter on the same line.
Oh, that's dirty.
That's nasty. That is just straight nasty.
I don't want that.
Secondary to back up that too. What?
Oh man. And hey, that's the thing too, is the Eagles are still really young. And Garrett's only 29, so I mean he's not old, you know what I mean? He's still got some years on him.
And there's rumors that Sweat might move on. I mean, Garrett would be a hell of a replacement.
Yeah, I mean Sweat did good. I mean, he had what, 2 or 2.5 sacks in the Super Bowl.
Like 2.5 sacks. I think he was involved in 6 tackles total, something like that.
Yeah, he was always on. You know, he's getting a contract. He's getting a lot of money. There ain't no doubt about that. He earned his paycheck.
Yeah.
I did just see an article that might put to bed the rumors of Abdul Carter #1. The Tennessee Titans say they believe that Travis Hunter can play both ways in the NFL. I mean,
I believe that.
I mean, if you're just, I mean, that's just, I don't know. That tells me that they're. I mean, it seems to be all signs are going to him #1.
Yeah.
It could be. I mean, but usually defensive backs, of course, like you said, he also can play wide receiver, but defensive backs usually don't go #1, do they?
No, they don't. But I mean, like I said, this is special cat here. This is special play. And hell, I mean, look, I don't think the Titans are going to go on the Commanders-esque run. Not with the team they got. They have a lot of holes they got to fill, and I don't know if this speeds it up or not, but it ain't going to hurt. I don't think if you go with Travis Hunter, you can maybe fill 2 spots for 1.
Yeah, and I think that's the lure. I think what lures teams to want to draft him at #1 is his potential for both sides of the ball, which really gives them a lot of flexibility.
Mm-hmm.
The only downside is you're not going to be able to do that all the time, because I think, you know, he doesn't do well health-wise when he's playing on both sides of the ball. I mean, you saw we had a few injuries at Colorado due to that. So I think that's going to be an offshoot of maybe special packages that they would have for Hunter on the offensive side. But I don't expect to see that a lot. Maybe in the Super Bowl you might see a lot of packages for him, you know, to change it up a little bit. I can see that.
And we'll get a little better feel too after the combine that starts
Thursday.
tomorrow.
Yep, that's true. We can, we'll definitely look at all that and see who might jump up, who might fall down a little bit. But for now, it's just pure speculation.
I would say this though. I know Tennessee is obviously hinting heavily that that Travis Hunter is going to be the number one. But you know how the draft is. Crazy shit happens at the draft.
Oh, for sure.
You know, you just never know.
Oh yeah. Let's see. Anything else, guys? I did see the NBA last night. Couple things. The Pistons, I think, have won 6 or 7 games in a row now. They're on fire right now. They're looking good.
Yeah, Pistons are looking good.
That's
Honestly.
crazy to say. When you look at this team last year
Yeah.
and say they're looking good, that's a credit to a lot of people over there. Couple other games. Tony, Chris, unfortunately, you guys fell to the Nuggets 125, 116. In that one, Jokic had a career-high 19 assists in the win to go along with 18 points and 9 rebounds.
Yeah, I think Jokic is the MVP this year.
No, I mean, how can you not? I mean, I don't have Shea's number in front of me from OKC. I don't have his numbers, but I mean, those seem like the top 2 picks.
I mean, hell, Jokic is averaging almost 30 points a game and then double-digit assists and rebounds. It's just crazy.
Now, I'm just kind of looking at the box score here, and I want to get your thoughts because y'all know the team more than I do. They struggle from the three-point arc, shooting 14 of 43. But what stands out to me, and Jay, I know you're going to get a kick out of this. Miles Turner went 2 of 10 from the three-point line.
Yeah, that's never a good thing when you're on 2.
Why
That's
the hell is he shooting 10 three-pointers?
Yeah.
He usually shoots them, but he usually don't shoot 10.
10, not usually 10. I would say more about 5 a game.
I think the reason he shot a few more last night was because they played terrible and got down, and then they just started shooting threes to try to get back in the game, and then they did get back in the game. Turner was chucking them up and just couldn't hit them last night. Usually he hits them. He'll hit usually 3 or 4 a game, and maybe shoot 6 a game. Last night he shot a few more, but our shooting last night was terrible. We couldn't hit threes, and we just kept shooting the damn things. It was like, if you're not hitting them, let's do something else. But last night was one of the nights where we didn't adjust very well.
A couple other games around the league that had some interesting storylines behind them. The 76ers got mollywopped 142-110 at home, by the way. They lost to the Chicago Bulls by that amount.
Jeez.
Boy, if this isn't the low point, what the hell is?
Yeah, that's definitely a low point. Yeah, for sure. For sure. Jeez.
142-110 at home, and you lost to the Bulls, who are 23 now and 35.
Yeah, and the thing about that too. So Embiid clearly was ruled out of that game after going imaging on that left knee. Which, by the way, I didn't realize this until I read a little more into it, but I forgot. They last year with that left knee, what's his face fell onto it and jacked up his left knee that way. So he actually injured it last year, but it's lingered into this year. And now they did the testing on it, and they ruled him out for this game through that testing. Now, obviously, more testing is to follow. But I got to tell you, man, the way they're wording this, or the way that they're putting it out there with the vagueness of it all, it's just got to make you think, like, how severe is this really that we're not knowing about? It's just the way they're wording it and stuff.
At what point do you just wave the white flag? Do you wait a little bit longer? Do you wait till March? Yeah. I mean, because this team, if they even do make the play-in, isn't going to go far. Yeah. This is not a championship team like they thought going into the year.
No.
Yeah. Did you guys see the OKC meltdown last night?
I caught a little bit of the just kind of box score, but yeah. So the Timberwolves rallied from down 25 to beat OKC in overtime. Anthony Edwards, struggled, only had 17 points. Leading scorer was Josh McDaniels, had 27.
Dang.
Yeah, Alexander had I think 39
Uh,
OKC.
yeah, Shea Gilgeous-Alexander had a good night. 39 points, 10 rebounds, 8 assists in 42 minutes of play.
And
So, I mean,
they were
he-
down by like 20 going into the fourth quarter.
He went
Mhm.
on a 16-0
Like I
run
said,
in the fourth quarter.
Yeah, they were down 25 at their largest. So
Yep.
credit to Timberwolves having a really good bounce back win there. Improves their record to just 32-27 on the season. So still not as good as I thought they were going to be, but definitely a big win. They're going to build some confidence and momentum, you would think.
Well, hey, and tonight is a huge game too. You got now you got the Lakers and Dallas going at it. It's going to be in LA.
In LA.
You got to imagine
I mean,
the kinds of things he wants to do to Dallas to let them know that you screwed up. And there's no
Yeah,
Anthony Davis, so that's even more that he can rub in their face. I
mean, that's definitely going to be a big game. Jay, you have a big game tonight against Milwaukee. 35-22
Yeah.
Houston against 32-24 Milwaukee. You're going to be in Houston rather, so at least you got the home field.
Yeah. I don't think we'll be without Van Fleet. I don't think he's fully back or he's able to be back yet. So it's a big game for us tonight because, right now we're dead even with LA for that fourth spot. They got us just by a little bit, but we're on the record, we're dead even with them. And so if LA was to hypothetically get the loss at Dallas and we got the win, then that would obviously give us the edge over them. But Houston has a tall order to get through with, Giannis and company coming into town. And Dallas has a tall order as well to try to beat the Lakers. So it would take a hell of a lot for us to leapfrog LA in the standings. But it's a big night for both franchises.
Oh yeah, it's that's definitely game of the night. That's going to be the one everyone's glued to, and it's an uphill battle for Dallas, man. They're banged up bad. Meanwhile, LA is fully healthy, so it's going to be a big matchup.
But I do want to point out though that LA has gone into Utah, and Utah didn't have hardly any teams, and they got beaten Utah. So it's not like it can't happen. But
No,
it's going to take a total team effort on their end.
No, I mean, the old adage of anything can happen. Any team on any night in the NBA.
Wow. Yeah.
Well, guys, you mentioned deferred money a little bit earlier, and I found this article here on ESPN that just popped up about 20 minutes ago. The Los Angeles Dodgers officially owe $1.051 billion in deferred payment to 8 separate players from 2028 to 2046.
Good God, man. They're never going to see the end of those contracts. Shit, I'll probably be dead by then. That price paid off. Tony's been cremated and sitting up on a mantle somewhere for 10 years by the time that happens.
Yeah, probably.
2046. I mean, that's a long freaking time away from now.
Dude, that's 21 years from now.
Wait a minute, Jay. I can live to be 82. Calm the fuck down. They like 120 or anything. That's just 82. Shit. Give me some slack.
Well, I got a 50-50 shot. Because on my dad's side, they live close to 100. But on my mom's side, they can't get to 60. So, Tony, I got a 50-50 on this 50-50. One, okay? I got a 50-50. I might not make it. Hell, I might not make it till tomorrow. I think I'll make it till tomorrow.
Hey, Jay, this one's kind of pointed towards you because you have the most tattoos in our group. Bryce Harper got a new tattoo of the Philly Fanatic on his arm.
Yeah. Wow. Okay. Hey, go ahead, Bryce. I mean, you're showing loyalty to the team.
Yeah, if I'm a Phillies fan, I'm happy you got that. It means you're staying here forever. I would hope.
Yeah. I mean, what happens if he gets, if he says, you know what, hell with Philly, I'm gonna go play over here. Somebody gives him more money. Things happen, right? How long has Harper got left on his contract? Has he got some time left on there?
But even if he leaves Philly, he probably figured that he's going to it won't be under bad terms, so that
it'll be a cool momentum.
He'll still have the memories of being there. So
but just a nice piece of art he just got the other day. So
I'm not gonna lie to you. If I was in the clubhouse and I was going up against the Philadelphia Phillies and one of my teammates had a Philadelphia tattoo, I'm not telling you to go fuck off.
Hey, do you have a tattoo of any of your sports teams?
I don't. I would like to get one eventually, though. I would.
What would you get?
Astros for sure. Astros and Cowboys and Rockets. I need to do a trifecta tattoo that has all of my teams in there. That would be pretty dope.
Get Prescott on your back.
Let's not go crazy.
Prescott 4.
Tony, if I put anybody on my back from the Cowboys, it would probably be Aikman, but that ain't happening either. I'm not.
I have the Reds mascot, Johnny Redleg, on my leg, and then I also
I remember when you got that. I remember when you got that tattoo. I sure do.
I also have Pete Rose on my leg as well.
There you go. I love Pete. I still love Pete Rose.
Hey, Chris, are you gonna get Terry Francona if he gets you a World Series?
Oh,
probably.
That's fair. That's a fair point.
I was gonna have a whole back tat of Terry Francona.
I don't know about all that. But there is a spot on my leg where I can finish the sleeve on my calf where I can put Francona there.
Well, let's do these stipulations. If the Cowboys win the Super Bowl, you get Prescott on your back. If the Reds win the championship, you get Francona on your back.
Why is he having the back?
If Dak Prescott got a Cowboys a Super Bowl, okay. But we got to
Jay, you better get that okay with Mel first.
Yeah, you better be talking.
Yeah.
Listen, I can tell you this. My other initial idea for my back tattoo is give me the Mount Rushmore of my favorite singers, and the majority of them are dead. And she was like, I'd rather have Dak Prescott's name looking at me than a bunch of dead dudes. So if I came home and said, hey, I'm gonna put Dak Prescott instead of 3 dead guys or 4 dead guys on my back, she'd probably be all excited about that, to be honest with you. I mean,
well, who would you put on there? I'm curious now. Who would you Yeah, who'd be the three dead singers?
It's gonna be Johnny Cash, it's gonna be Jim Morrison, and it's gonna be Lane Staley, and I'll probably round it out with Chester Bennington.
All right. Nice class there.
Yeah.
That's Jay's Hall of Singers.
A little bit of this, a little bit of that. And if I got enough room, maybe I'll try to slap in a Stevie Ray Vaughan when she's not looking. Be all good.
Joe said, he said, "Did you see that clown Skip taking off his Cowboys jersey and putting on the Eagles jersey?" Jay, you gotta kick him out. You gotta kick him out for that.
Oh gosh, man!
I've seen.
Wait. What did he say about the Eagles? What?
Hold on, put that comment back up on the screen.
Did you see that clown Skip taking off his Cowboy jersey and putting on an Eagle jersey? Skip Bayless did that?
Yep.
Apparently so.
Fuck Skip Bayless.
Hey man, I've seen him put so many jerseys and shoes in the trash bin. It's not even funny.
I mean, if he lost a bet and did it, okay, it is what it is. But if he just did it voluntarily, come on, Skip.
What was it? I think on Fox Sports 1 they did. I think Nick Wright picked the Chiefs to win the Super Bowl, but I think they had hired like a mariachi band or something for like the next show.
Really?
So like kind of like poke fun at him. They just said, "Oh, and Nick, we have a surprise for you. Here's like a mariachi band wearing I think all Chiefs colors."
Oh my gosh, no way.
Because they had already booked it in advance.
Yep.
They had streamers, balloons, and everything, man.
You know, I tell you, man, yeah. I mean, could you imagine Stephen? I mean, that'd be like, what if Stephen A. put on a Cowboys jersey? That would never happen.
Oh, God.
I've never seen anybody hate the Cowboys more than Stephen A. Like, that dude has like,
I think he's worn them, Jay. I think he's worn the jerseys, but I think it's like when he's in Texas doing the live show.
He don't hate the Cowboys.
He said he loves Jerry Jones. That's his boy.
He don't hate the Cowboys. That's all about. That's all a stick or whatever you want to call it for.
yeah. No, I got
Hey,
it.
it works.
I got it.
You know, he'd be out on Jerry Jones' yacht, drinking some whiskey, smoking a cigar. And then get on
You think
TV
Jerry-
and talk about how he hates the Cowboys.
You think Jerry's still getting down like that at his age and smoking cigars and
I would
drinking
imagine
whiskey?
that Jerry has a cigar every once in a while. Yes, I would still think he does that. Absolutely. Let me ask you a question. I just saw this come in.
Yeah.
Federal and NCAA authorities are investigating potential links between the gambling ring that ensnared former NBA player Jonte Porter and wagering on at least 9 college games across last season and this season.
I mean, it was.
So they're investigating a point shaving across pro and college basketball. Does that shock one of you guys?
I mean, he was the most recent one to get popped for it in the NBA. He got kicked out of the league because he was betting, I think, the under on his own points or rebounds or whatever the hell it was.
Yeah,
it don't shock me because you had this stuff going on before sports gambling became legal in most states. I mean, you had this stuff going on back in the day, so now that it's more prevalent and stuff, you're still going to have it go on. You know what I mean?
Right. Like now we're really kind of come to light because this isn't look. We've already had an MLB umpire get kicked out because he was sharing a betting account, and then you had the other umpire. Was it an NFL referee? There was one of them that got kicked out as well. And then now you got this point shaving ring. I mean, there's been a lot of instances of, between officials doing it, and then you had what? Then you had the soccer referee going up to Messi.
Oh, the jersey, with the jersey.
Do you think that maybe there's just some craziness that's starting to belly up a little bit?
I think it's a good thing, though, Jay, because the reason I say that, I think it's good that gambling's, now that it's legal, now this stuff is, they're checking and try to find this stuff.
Sure.
Or before, when it was more underground, they wasn't looking for this stuff. So now they're looking for it more, so they're going to find more. But the more you're looking for it, the more you're going to get rid. You know what I mean? Be able to get
the more you get uncovered.
Yeah, get more of it out of the game. So I think it's actually a good thing that now it's illegal because now more of this stuff will get investigated and get caught. Because hell, they can track every bet you make, where you make it from. I mean, they have records of all that stuff. If you're going through like FanDuel, DraftKings, and stuff like that, I mean, they can tell you the exact damn spot you were at when you placed the bet, the time, probably what the fuck you were eating at that time. I mean,
also, you know what I think is funny, and this is just for me and whatever other states, gambling's still not legal, right? Sports betting, etc. I think it's so funny that it's like the FanDuel Sports Network hosts the Braves when you can't even bet on the Braves. Like,
yeah,
like, come on.
Yeah, because FanDuel took over the Valley Sports.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. So I mean that's how it is though. It's. I mean, it's also too. That's a tricky thing, because I mean, hell, there's whole shows dedicated. I mean, Chris, you have one talking about sports betting. I mean, but I'm talking about the major networks. It's presented by DraftKings, presented by FanDuel, et cetera, et cetera.
For sure.
Oh, but you guys can't gamble though. We can market the hell out of it, but you guys can't do it.
Oh,
it's just kind of double sworded or whatever.
Yeah. Believe me, like Pete Rose is banned from baseball, but when I go watch a Cincinnati Reds game, there's a sports book inside the damn ballpark.
Yeah. It's cruel, man. It don't make no damn sense.
That sports book is open year round. But it's attached to the ballpark. So like when you're in the ballpark, you can actually you can go to it. But then they have it set up where when there's not games, you can still go there.
But so you're still set.
It's crazy. And a lot of the ballparks and stadiums are starting to have sports books in them.
Yeah, for the ones that are legal, like I said, still here in Georgia, it's been brought up in the political realm, but nothing's passed yet. I think in the coming years it will, just because I'm sure y'all know how much money it brings in.
I was surprised Indiana actually made it legal as quick as they did, because we're usually one of the last states to change anything.
Yeah.
So apparently, watch this. Apparently, there's a gambler that goes by the name of Hennon. It's got a little bit longer than that, but anyway, this guy Hennon apparently has had a lot of money fluctuate between bets and stuff. And it says authorities say Hennon helped orchestrate what appears to be one of the most pervasive point-shaving scandals in North American sports history. To the point, it says the scandal, which appears to touch both pro and college basketball, has already generated a few headlines, but the sports world has not come to grips with just how widespread this scheme could be. In a court filing last month, the Office of Acting U.S. Attorney Carolyn Picorni of the Eastern District of New York vouched for substantial evidence that Hennon was involved in illicit financial transactions and fraudulent sports wagers totaling millions of dollars, resulting in potentially millions of dollars worth of illicit profits and money laundering transactions. I mean, I'm telling you, they say the way they're making this seem like it's all over the freaking place.
Yeah, it's not just like, it's like an organization, like you said. It's like a sting operation kind of. How they're just you find one guy, but he's linked to 30 others. I mean, let's not forget the NBA. 25 years ago now, probably the referee who got kicked out for betting on games he was in, he was officiating, and he had a whole documentary about it.
So let me ask you this, guys. Here's the real question. Okay, so if I'm a gambler, if I'm a guy that likes to put money on games and do this and do that, and I have no affiliate, I'm just a Joe Schmuckatelli out there in the world, and I find out that there's point shaving and all these corrupt things going on, you got to think from a gambling standpoint, that's going to be horrible. I mean, for a lot of people now that are probably reading this, thinking like, I wonder if one of the games that cost me money was a point shaving scheme, and you know what I'm saying? And how does that affect the credibility of the sport now that all of this is coming to light? Then how does that affect Vegas odds? When Vegas odds is doing the Vegas odds, they're not taking into accountability about point shaving and all these other things that are going on behind the scenes.
No, it's just one of those, like, kind of like dirty little secrets where it happens. It just comes out every so often.
Yeah, it's crazy. And I do agree. I don't think that betting should be allowed in games because I do think it sends a mixed message. In one sense, we're trying to clean up the sport, and then in another sense, we're promoting what we're trying to clean up. I mean, it's just like, what are we doing?
Yeah, it's and I mean, look, and also I'm curious too because you mentioned college basketball, right?
Yes.
But one where we haven't seen, I don't think as much yet, but it very well could, is college football.
Yeah.
Because college football, you got the NIL money, and I get all the other college athletics do as well, but the vast majority of that NIL money is tied to football, and who's to say, right? Say if athlete A is sponsored by a car dealership, but the owner of said car dealership was said to be gambling at, on certain players' games. I mean, that can have some big consequences.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. And again, God, I mean, could you imagine? I mean, there's no telling how deep this thing goes. Right now, it's in pro basketball and college basketball. But like you said, who's to say it's not into other sports as well? And how far does the ring really go? I mean, you're not going to know any of this until more investigations are done on it. But like Don just said, I'm sure it's been around for a while. It's just now coming to surface.
And that's why I think it's better that it's legal in some states, is because now it'll come more to light because a lot of this stuff wouldn't even ever getting caught.
Yeah.
I think
and
basketball is probably, I mean, I don't know for a fact, but I would just think basketball is probably one of the easiest sports to shave points in because each player has their own control of, in a way, I mean,
I can tell myself where to shoot
like
this
football. It's more of a team sport. So if you're going by like the points, it'd be a little harder to shave points where you can get exact. Where and basketball, it could be a lot. It could be a lot easier to do that,
to shave points.
Also, too, I in talking about this made me think of the story that came out over a year and so ago. Former head coach for the University of Alabama in baseball, he provided information about some illegal for some gambling that was going on. Happened back in 2023. It was just, if I remember right, it was just some like random game. Wasn't like anything meaningful, but all of a sudden you got all these bets in, and that's how they connected it.
Remember the movie Blue Chips?
Oh, I mean, that had Shaq and Ray Allen in it. And I think Nick Nolte, was the coach. I think
Was it Ray Allen? Was Ray Allen? Okay.
Was he? I mean, Ray. I know Ray Allen's Jesus.
thought it was-
show.
No, it wasn't Ray Allen. It was
what's his name?
It was
it
Hardaway.
was one of them, wasn't it? Who was it?
Shaq and Hardaway.
Penny Hardaway.
Penny Hardaway.
Penny.
There you go. Yeah, that's right. You're right.
Allen was in
He was the one where he got game.
yeah, he got game.
That's
Yeah,
it.
there you go. That's
He
what I
was
was
the
thinking
Spike
of.
Lee one.
Has there been what's been the most like recent sports movie that's came out? Does anyone know? Like major? I'm trying to think.
It's been a while since they put out a good sports movie, honestly.
Well, you had the one, the wrestling one. How many years ago was that?
Which one? Oh, Iron Claw. That came out last year.
Oh, that one. But you're thinking of Foxcatcher.
I don't think Foxcatcher. That's probably about 5-6 years.
What? I don't even know what that one is. Is that like a professional or collegiate?
It was about Olympic wrestlers and a guy named John DuPont that murdered a guy.
DuPont paint.
Mm.
He owned all that, all kinds of money, and he shot that wrestler.
They did a movie on it, and Carell, Steve Carell
The comedian.
was one of the main actors, and Tatum.
Yeah. Oh, Channing Tatum.
Yeah, he was in it. It's a good movie.
It's dark.
Yeah.
Did you not to go bad, but I just saw this too. I know yesterday we were talking about Paul George.
Yeah. What
Dude,
now?
No. Hey, did you see what he said about this 8-game? I know we were talking about a minute ago. We were talking about the 8-game losing streak, right? That Philadelphia was currently on. Well, Paul George came out and said, "We've shown no sign of a team that will compete. We just don't have the habits of a champion or a playoff contending team would have to be honest. Right now, it's a little far. Right now, it's a little far fetched. All we can do is work hard and try to keep going."
Let me just say this, and then I can let y'all speak. I appreciate the brutal honesty because he's not wrong.
Yeah.
However, and a comment is still from Jay McLovin, I don't want my leader, or I don't want one of my top paid guys saying that. Not when there's still a lot of season left.
Yeah.
That's all. That's all I gotta say.
Yeah. I mean, it's very true. I mean, but I do like the fact that he's vocal about it. Like, he's bringing something to light. Maybe, and again, Embiid is hurt right now, so it's not really a whole hell of a lot he can do. But let me ask you this. How much of a heart of a champion does Embiid really have, even when he is healthy?
Not much.
It's about time Paul George said something smart.
Tony, Chris and Tony, y'all are going to hold that over his head forever right now. And I love it as a diehard sports fan.
Especially because like a month ago, he was complaining that he never got a tribute video when he came back to the Pacers.
Oh, you're right.
Why the hell did the Pacers owe you a tribute video? Like,
didn't who was it that asked? It was Dylan Brooks, I think, was also asking for one. Like, dude, what do we do? Jake, get on your boyfriend.
Hey, look, man. As long as he's playing good basketball, I gotta leave Dylan alone.
He doesn't need a tribute
I gotta
video.
leave him alone. I gotta leave him alone. Let him think what he thinks. Just play good
he ain't
basketball.
been in Indiana for like 8 years or so now, and you're crying over a fucking tribute video. Come on, like you didn't win that when you were when you were at the Pacers. We had some good teams. Almost the key word, beat LeBron and the Cavs in some real close playoff series and went 6-7 games. But wasn't able. But I mean, they never won anything. So why should they get a tribute? I mean, you're not Reggie Miller. So
why should Indiana put a statue out in front? A Paul George statue.
Oh, I don't need no Paul
God,
George.
how would that would infuriate all of you if you put a Paul George statue out there?
What about a jersey retirement? How would you be pissed off if they retired his jersey? Because it would be the 24, it wouldn't be the 13.
Yeah, I would, because I think there's other players that jersey should be retired before his.
I'm curious who. I want to know who. Because I don't know who all they have retired.
That's the thing I got to think. But I don't think I'd retire Rick Spencer's jersey before I retired Paul George.
I think Smith's may be though.
I don't know. I don't think his is. His ain't hanging in the rafters.
So, Smith should be.
He's not hanging in the rafters. Only player that's hanging in the rafters, I think, is Reggie and.
I'd put Dale Davis and the other day.
You guys have a few.
Reggie and Leonard.
You guys got a few. You have Bill Russell. I think Bill Russell's league wide.
Yep.
You got George McGinnis, number 30. Reggie Miller at 31. Mel Daniels at 34. And then Bobby Slick Leonard at number 529.
I knew all of them but one.
And then
Damn.
you got Roger Brown, who played in the 70s with the ABA team. He should go on there before that moron. Smiths. Hell, I take the two Davis boys before I would George. Another moron that probably thinks he belongs on there is Owen Depot. He was a moron. Thought he was great and see how his career turned out.
Jermaine O'Neal.
Yeah, Jermaine.
How about Ron Artest?
No.
I would. But I've always been an Artest fan.
I like Artest, but
even though I still believe that we were going to win the damn championship that year the brawl happened, but
I think so too.
But I liked Ron Artest. But no, Jermaine O'Neal off that team, because he was a big part of Indiana for a long time.
But that was an entertaining brawl. That was one of the craziest things I've ever seen.
Oh, yeah. I mean, obviously, I wasn't old enough to even comprehend what the hell was going on because I was like, 7 when it happened. But yeah, just because I've watched what happened. I've seen documentaries that they did about it, and I don't think we're ever going to get nothing like that again.
I hope not. That was nuts.
So real quick, I know we're kind of getting close to the end of the thing. I just wanted to kind of close it with this. So apparently, I know we were talking about the combine. Apparently, Green Bay has filed a formal proposal to the NFL's competition committee to ban the tush push. And to that, basically, Sirianni, quote unquote, said, "I almost feel a little insulted because we worked so hard at that play." He told the reporter, "Our guys are talented at this play." But apparently, Green Bay is saying, "No, we want to ban this." To the point where Green Bay Packers, and this is Diana Rossini, says on Twitter, I think it was, Green Bay Packers are the team that submitted a proposal to the NFL's competition committee to ban the tush push per sources. And Lane Johnson basically responded to her with a crying happy face emoji.
So let me get this. I found a list of the plays that are banned in the NFL, and tell me where the hell that one ranks. We have chop blocks, helmet to helmet hits, horse collar tackles, and hip drop tackles. And potentially the tush push. Come on.
Yeah. I guess
does that hurt, guys?
The strategy that was legal to go across the line or short yardage.
Dude, correct me if I'm wrong, but isn't that play just a different version of a quarterback sneak?
That's the way I look at it.
Yeah.
That's how I see it. It's not the same thing, obviously, but damn, it's damn sure close to it. I mean, if you can have trick, I don't see what the big issue is. Damn, just learn how to stop it.
Better, Logan, it gets better. But Green Bay isn't the only one to have a problem with the tush push. Apparently, Atlanta Falcons head coach Raheem Morris told reporters Tuesday, "I'll definitely be one to vote against it. It should have been illegal 3 years ago."
I don't even give a damn about that. I got a bone to pick with Raheem Morris right now with the Kirk Cousins situation.
Yes. What? We definitely got to talk Kirk. I almost forgot about that. We got to talk that.
To me, it's just a bunch of crybaby shit because they can't stop it, so let's ban it. It's just crybaby shit. You know how you stop it? Don't let them get the third.
Don't let them get there, dude. Unless they're on the 1 yard line, 2 yard line, maybe they're not going to use it.
No, but it gets better. Damn it! It gets better. Basically, there's now league executives. Okay, here we go. Oppositions from the Packers in particular isn't surprising, as team president Mark Murphy wrote that he does not like the play and believes there is no skill involved. And it is almost an automatic first down on plays of a yard or less.
No skill. Imagine that, guys. Hey, guys, there's no skill in me moving 2 inches to get a first down. You can say that for any play. Get out of here.
And I'll close it with this. He goes on, the last thing he adds is, the play is bad for the game, and we should go back to prohibiting the push of the runner. So he doesn't like that you're allowed to push the runner. Well, people do it all the time. Whether it's a tush push or not, you're going to tell me you're not pushing your guy to get that extra one?
Hey, Jay, if that's the case, then how come whenever a running back gets stood up, okay, we can't have guys push him for a couple of yards. How come if a guy catches a ball, but he's right below the 1-yard line, you're telling me my offensive lineman can't push him? No more.
The thing with that is the defense has to learn how to get lower than the offense. So if Lane Johnson is getting lower or Jurgensen is getting lower than the opposition, well, then don't blame it. Be there before them.
I don't think it needs to be banned. It's not a...
No, I don't think so either.
No, learn to defend it, for God's sake. You can find ways to defend it. Hell, just get the whole team up the middle. Just stack them up like domino chips, for God's sake. Just line them up 2x2s. I
think the real gripe about it is because the Eagles have become so successful with it, and other teams probably have practiced it and are not as successful with it. So if they feel like they have a competitive advantage over the, but if you don't like it, just get better at it. You know, I mean, what are you doing? Mm-hmm. Now the Kirk Cousins thing, though.
Let's talk about that, Jay. Let's talk about this.
Yeah.
There was a headline, gentlemen, that came out earlier this morning at 11:57 a.m. on ESPN. I'm just going to read you the headline because we don't even need the article at the moment. Falcons GM and coach unaware of Kirk Cousins' late season injury.
Yeah.
Cousins chalked up the injury report appearance to a clerical error when asked about Atlanta's Week 11 game with the Denver Broncos. So here's some background info. GM is Terry Fontenot, head coach Raheem Morris, okay? They said at the Combine they were unaware that Kirk Cousins was dealing with an injury late in the 2024 season. Cousins said that on the NFL Network with the Super Bowl week, he got hit in a Week 10 game versus the Saints and hurt his right shoulder and right elbow. The arm, Cousins said, never got back to where he wanted to be for the rest of the year. The Falcons then put Cousins on the injury report just one day, during Week 11, mentioning that he was listed in practice a walkthrough due to a right shoulder and right elbow issue, but Cousins chalked it up to a clerical error when asked after their game versus the Broncos. Beyond that single injury report, Fontenot and Morris said the organization was not in the know regarding Cousins' injuries. The quarterback struggled after Week 10, throwing 9 picks and just a single touchdown pass over the next 5 games. Fontenot, in a quote here, and then we can open it up, Fontenot says he was on the injury report that 1 week. When a player is injured, we put him on the injury report, and that's the only time he was on the injury report. So as far as we're concerned, that's the only injury we are aware of. So let me just say this. You can say, look, and yes, because they are the main 2 guys at the helm beside the owner, right? The coach who knows the players. The GM is it? I mean, how's the GM? He just picks the guys to go on the field. The coach deals with them every day. But you know who I really put this on? It's not even the coach. It's the training staff.
Yeah.
It's the guys whose names aren't getting put out. It's the rehab guys. It's the doctors. It's the team staff.
Oh, it's the whole. It's the whole enchilada.
I understand.
The trainers that should be on top of that, right? I mean, that is their job at a base level. Their job is to evaluate Cousins, look at him, talk to him, stretch him out, rehab him, talk to him, get all the touchy-feely stuff, whatever. Team doctors, all that kind of stuff. But it does directly fall upon management in terms of the coach and hire, because look, this is your number 1 position guy. This isn't like the kicker. This isn't like a backup center. This is your creme de la creme. You gave hundreds of millions of dollars to run your franchise, and you don't know the status of him. I'm sorry, Logan, but if I am the GM or if I am a head coach and this is my number 1 guy, the engine doesn't move without him guiding it. No, I want to know every damn thing there is to know about. We're having conversations.
Jay, let's not forget the Falcons, I believe, were fined X amount of dollars for signing him early, for talking with him early.
Right.
But you're telling me whenever he gets hurt, you don't know the extent of it or even what's fully hurt?
Yeah.
What are we doing?
Yeah.
But no, this is it's poor on the GM for hiring the training staff that didn't apparently diagnose him correct and relay it correctly, whatever it could be. There's 100 different scenarios here. It's on the coach for not getting the correct data. But hell, is it on Kirk Cousins also just for saying, look, I'm hurt, don't play me in these games? Because let's not forget the Falcons had a good start, and then Kirk Cousins threw those 9 picks, and they just fell off a cliff. And they said, all right, you're going on the bench, buddy.
And still,
I mean, if he would have said, hey, I'm hurt, I can't play. I don't get it.
If he'd have said, I'm hurt, I can't play, then people would have buried him and called him soft. Whereas Jay would have been saying he don't have the eye of the tiger.
No. And look, I understand that, Chris. I fully understand that. But they also drafted a quarterback in the first round for that reason.
Yep.
Oh, no,
so they had a game plan. It wasn't like he was a scrub in the 4th round.
Yeah. No,
you had a first round pick sitting there. That's what. If you're Kirk Cousins, you say, look, I am more hurt than they believe. I have all this done with my throwing arm, by the way. I need to sit out the rest of the year to reflect, to get healthy. Let's start this guy who's been sitting under my wings for the last 10 weeks to play the rest of the year and see how it works out. So I can come back next year and potentially be fully healthy, instead of now we're in the situation of now Kirk Cousins is potentially going to be the most expensive backup in the league to not even really play unless Michael Penix comes out and just is awful.
I don't know if
there is one other way to look at it, though. There is one other way to look at that puts it on Kirk Cousins. You ready for this one? What if he is just saying that because he knows his time in Atlanta is done, and he's trying to convince potential upcoming contracts or suitors that he is okay, that, yeah, that was a fluke thing, but now I'm good, whatever, so that they'll bring him in and not have it counted against him. I mean, could that be a play on his part?
It could be.
It could be that, or it could also be what I kind of leaning toward is that the Falcons aren't telling the truth here. That they knew he was hurt, but they didn't put him on. They chose not to put him on the injury report last year because they didn't want other teams to know.
That's against the rules, isn't it?
And that's against the rules. So now that Cousins went out and put it in public that he was hurt and he wasn't on the reports, now they're trying to come up with this to cover their ass. Is what
exactly? I get that. I could buy into that, and I think what you're saying, Gonzo and Tony. I think what I'm thinking. Either one of those two situations could be plausible because I just find it super hard to believe that your number one guy that you paid all this money to, you don't know the status of him, like really know the status of him. That just doesn't happen in the NFL. It doesn't happen. That would be severe neglect on the part of Raheem Morris and the general manager if they, in fact, didn't know the status of their number one person. People lose their jobs in corporate America for having that kind of neglect. You can't.
The trainers have a couple of jobs. One thing to take care of the players, another thing to report it to their higher ups, to their coaches and the other staff. So I don't believe that they didn't know that he had injuries. I don't believe that.
Right.
If the training staff, and look, there's a bunch of different scenarios, but I'll leave it here. If the training staff did in fact know the extent of this injury, but they did report it to the coach, who then reports it to the GM, ultimately, it is on the coach and the GM as a collective, as a unit, to decide if he's ready to play or not. The training staff can diagnose him with whatever, but they're not the ones who have to put if he's inactive or not at the end of the day.
Right. They're just the advisors, or the medical staff is just
they're just the medical staff. That's all they are paid to do is look at guys. And whether it was a misdiagnosis or whether it was just the GM and coach not choosing to realize it, or whether it was Kirk Cousins not letting that know the extent of it, whatever it could be. There's 100 different scenarios. It's a mess. That's all I can say.
I think what Tony and Gonzo said about the Falcons organization, I think what I've said about Kirk Cousins in terms of this, I think are much more plausible believable stories than what they're reporting in that article where they're saying that they didn't know. I would just say that's much more.
I agree. Another year of pain. Another year of pain here in the Peach State, Jay.
It's another year.
Why?
At least you're not a Falcons fan, huh?
No, man, I'm a Raiders fan, but damn, I have to watch the team. They're here in the city. I watch them. Man. I can watch. I can't watch the Vegas Raiders. I'm not paying $200 for Team Pass. I watch the Falcons for free.
Hey, you're only a Raiders fan though, because
I can get you all those Vegas games
for the Raiders
for less than $200.
We'll talk off screen. We'll talk off here about that.
But it has been a rough week, gentlemen. I don't know if you noticed this, but I dropped my glasses into the fire pit.
Jesus Christ, Jay. What happened? The dog get a hold of you?
Right here. Yeah. So I was lighting the fire pit, and my glasses slipped off and went right down into the fire. And I'm like, oh, son of a
Oh, Jesus.
Only Jay.
Only.
And the smoke is everywhere. And I had that. My cousin's here, and I'm telling Christian, grab the loppers, grab the safety glasses.
So you're getting a new pair? You're gonna hold on to them? So Jay, are you gonna hold on to them, or are you getting a new pair? I hope to God you're getting a new one in.
Oh no, I already paid my appointment with the VA, so that could take about 2 weeks. So I'm gonna be sporting these ugly looking things for a little while, but we'll find out.
You'll be all right.
Loves me and not whether or not how I'm perceived in public. We'll see. It's a rough go of it right now.
Yeah.
It's fucking rough, Tony. You should have seen when they came out. They were black. The lenses were all fucked up. I had to clean them all up. Yeah, it was rough. It was a rough day in the world, let me tell you. So the rule of thumb is if you're going to light a fire pit for future people, our safety tip is have that little thing that goes behind your glasses to keep them on your.
It could be worse. Could be worse. I've seen this video where this guy's cooking steaks on his grill, and he's got a cell phone in his hand. He sets his cell phone down on the grill, cooking the steaks. All of a sudden, his phone catches fire.
Wait, Tony. What do you mean? That's just Frankie.
Yeah,
that's just Frankie Cruz.
Frankie. Gotta love old Frankie. Man, does everything. Can't remember his pay.
Hope to have him back later on the week. He ain't got internet right now, so hopefully got him back. He's living in the Southern.
He said possibly Thursday or Friday. We'll see.
But he did say, and we can't say this. He told us that once baseball season kicks back off, he is going to be doing the Frankie the Yankee shows. So we're holding him to it this year. We're holding him to it. We've been giving him some relaxation. We've been holding off on, but we're holding him to the feet of the fire. No pun intended, Jay.
It may not last the whole season. If the Dodgers go crazy and are just going nuts, he may
cancel the show.
He may cancel a lot of things. I'm not gonna get too dark, but
I'm gonna get him a T-shirt that says Frankie the Dodger on it.
I was gonna say by change it to Frankie.
No, he gets you for that.
Oh God, yeah, no. If we're just buying each other rival T-shirts, I'm all for it.
Oh man, I'm gonna get Frankie the Dodger.
He's just gonna get you. He's just gonna buy you a trash can. He's not even gonna get you a right. He's just gonna buy you a trash can. He's just gonna put 2017 on that bad boy, smack it on there, and say, "Here you go."
A shirt with a trash can lid and a buzzer.
Yep.
Look, I've always said if your go-to is something that happened 17 years ago or some crazy number, I know it's not 17 years ago. I'm being silly, but
it's not 7. It's 7.
Go-to for my team, then you are running out of material, sir. You're running out of material. It's okay though. Look, 17 happened. What am I gonna do? We got 22 that replaced it, so I don't care. Fuck all y'all.
Oh shit.
Poor Frankie. I can't wait till the day where right now I believe the Yankees are 15 years into their drought.
Their drought, yeah.
When it gets to 30 years, bro, I'm gonna be so happy.
When Frankie's old at that point.
Are you okay? Do you need some
35 for us?
He said 30. Yeah. Oh, yeah, the Reds got it in 90. So I mean, y'all still waiting.
Yep.
Yeah. It sucks when you're in a drought for 3 decades.
Yeah, that's a rough one. I mean, what's the most recent Indiana-based championship y'all had? The Colts?
Yeah. 2007.
Yeah,
7
yeah.
years.
Peyton Manning
6.
brought it there.
Yeah. I mean, maybe the Fever, right? The Fever loaded up. They got a good team.
They're heading the right direction.
Yeah. Might not be this year, but they definitely got a good lineup, that's for sure.
Maybe if Boston has a couple accidents, maybe we can.
Couple accidents.
I was going to say something else, and that was too dark, so I didn't want to say that.
All right, Logan. I'll get it out of you.
We'll go there today.
Yeah. All right. Well, guys, if you're guys getting the show, I'm not pulled up on my laptop, so I need one of y'all to hit the end stream button. But I'll do the outro if y'all can hit the button, please. If you enjoyed the episode, please like, follow, share, and subscribe. We go live, of course, every day, Monday through Friday, 2:00 Eastern here on the channel. If you want to learn all of our other great shows we have, that's going to be in our link tree in our description. For Tony and Chris Gonzalez, for Jay McLovin, I've been Logan Landers, your a little bit late guest today. But guys, we appreciate the show. We'll see you again tomorrow at 2:00. Someone hit that button. Let's get out of